Hello everyone and welcome back to my Bold and Beautiful 29 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Bill covenanting to go after Grace. Lee explains to Sheila. Nick proposes while Taylor tries to inhibit Ridge. Nick has an engagement ring box. He pops it open and makes Brooke jaw drop. The shipman pleads with Brooke that it doesn't have to be over for them. It could just be the morning, if Brooke can accept the offer, however. Brooke will have a tough decision to make. After all, Ridge did deliver her from drowning. At the same time, Taylor isn't going to let Ridge go veritably fluently. That brings us to our coming point, Taylor. In the exercise clip for the week of August 11th, Taylor tries to inhibit Ridge from reuniting with Brooke. The psychiatrist says that Brooke has a future, but it's not with her fiancé. Also, she adds that she isn't taking her ring off. Ridge isn't smiling, he seems to feel heavy. So, we will see what Ridge decides about all of this. Sheila has set about what Lee is over to. It's not at all what Sheila allowed. Lee isn't on medicines, she's intimately nursing Luna back to health. Sheila wants to know why Lee saved her granddaughter. Lee will presumably explain that Poppy being glad Luna was dead was a turning point for Lee. Luna now realizes the youthful woman no way had a chance with Poppy as her mama. At the same time, there comes a time when a person is just who they are and beyond metamorphosis. Bill returns to the house after visiting Katie at Forrester Creations. Once Bill gets home, he'll learn of another stunner. Bill swears to make Grace pay when Hope and Liam inform him about the croaker's devious sin. Lee owes Sheila an explanation. Bill vows to make Grace suffer. Lee didn't plan on anyone chancing out her secret. Still, Sheila discovered that it was a slow Luna behind that curtain. At first, Sheila will be overjoyed that her granddaughter is alive. After the shock dissipates, anticipate Sheila to demand answers from Lee. Sheila asks the good croaker why she saved Luna. After all, Lee wasn't shy about hiding her misprision and distrust of Luna. After Sheila gets the intel, Lee might put her in an insolvable situation. There's no way anyone will understand Lee doing this for Luna. Especially after everything that the youthful woman has done to Lee's loved bones. So, Lee is going to ask that Sheila keep Luna being alive a secret. At least, for the time being. That will put Sheila in a tough moral dilemma. The one person that she generally turns to see ain't know Luna is alive. Cleric blows up anytime Luna's name is indeed mentioned. So, what will Sheila decide? Liam and Hope are still shell-shocked when Bill arrives home. Liam incontinently rants to his father about Grace's concession. Bill will want his own vengeance. It would be easy to see Bill ask where Grace is now. When Hope and Liam explain that Finn took Grace to the police station, Bill could try to catch up with them. It would be just like the cleaner to have Finn get an exigency phone call from the sanitarium and have to go. Bill would offer to hand Grace over to the Bobbies. Only to have her vanish. It seems that Bill is in his fix-it phase. Recently, it seems that Bill tries to reform and fix damaged people. On the other hand, this could be the last straw for Bill. Is it possible that Grace's scheme will turn Bill back into the revengeful villain we all know and love? Forrester Creations throwing a lavish fashion show in Italy with all the confidentially drama that comes with it. Eric welcomes Ridge and Brooke to Capri, but it looks like Nick is following near before. Standing on a deck overlooking the cobalt blue ocean as a background, Ridge and Brooke look on as Eric raises a glass of champagne to the crowd below. Salute, the Forrester primogenitor calls out. Raising their own spectacles, the followership returns the expression. Brooke hopes that this trip to Italy will help move Ridge that they belong together, and the setting couldn't be more lavish and romantic as they arrive at the islet on a motorboat driven by Ridge himself. Drink to Capri, a woman calls out as she swells her sunglasses. Next to her, Eric gestures at the brace who happily gesture back as they walk up the wharf. Come on, you two, he shouts. Come on up. Nick had hoped that he'd be the one spending quality time with Brooke during this Forrester business trip, but it turns out that the shipping mogul doesn't actually have a way to get to her. I've got to get to Capri, he insists to a man in a marina. I need a boat. You'd suppose the head of Marone Shipping would have difficulty getting his hands on a boat, but at least in this exigency situation, he'll have plenitude of plutocrat to pay for one. Guests watch as the Forrester Creations fashion show gets underway and models walk the yard with the ocean behind them, showing off their new Capri line, designs created in a collaboration with notorious Italian developer Luisa Beccaria. As Brooke stands before the crowd and raises her hand to the sky, wearing a various dress and a beaming smile, Nick looks up at the event. Time for the fun to begin, he declares to himself with a grin. What does he have in mind, and can he steal Brooke down from the man she considers her fortune? Nick checking in with Taylor, Eric trying to steer Ridge in the right direction, and Finn participating his reservations with Bridget as he investigates Liam's phenomenon cure. Nick has been spending a lot of time with Brooke since returning to Los Angeles, but now he takes some time to visit another of his ex-wives, Taylor. And he seems auspicious that her new engagement to Ridge will profit his pursuit of the golden. Well, that should put an end to the Ridge/Brooke redo thing, he notes as Taylor smiles in response. While Nick would love nothing further than for Ridge and Taylor to be happy together, Eric still insists that his son is better off with his Logan. The only person in the world for you is Brooke, the primogenitor declares. Will Ridge continue to dismiss his father's claims, or might Eric be speaking the verity? The circumstances girding the experimental surgery to remove Liam's preliminarily inoperable brain excrescence were suspicious enough, but when Finn saw the MRI results indicating that the deadly mass was, in fact, no longer present, it set off red flags each over the place. There are still a lot of unanswered questions, he tells Bridget, who nods in agreement. Grace and her unnamed medical associate performed brain surgery on Liam at a clinic, as the sanitarium would no way authorize such an experimental procedure, and she also came down with 1 million bones. Since a thankful Bill was willing to pay any price to save his son's life. Finn gapes hardly at his laptop screen showing the MRI reviews of Liam's head and tries to come up with answers to the questions spinning around in his mind. What really happened to you, Liam? He wonders audibly to himself. Sheila digging for answers, Lee showing up at the right place at the wrong time, and Finn forcing Grace to do the right thing. Pressures ran briskly at the sanitarium as Grace continued needling Finn and soliciting him to keep her secret. Her and her son's lives depend on it. Her partner ruined all their lives, and he still is. Not only did he steal Liam and Hope's baby, but his debts continued destroying her world and Liam's too, since he's come her accidental target. Finn had veritably little mercy for Grace's despicable conduct. He didn't watch that Grace didn't keep the plutocrat and handed it over to the lone harpies, all effects considered. He made it clear that if Grace didn't speak up, he would. Grace had a breakdown, but Finn stood strong. The verity had to come out now. Hope contended a call from her mama and was relieved to hear Brooke was on the mend, although she was still in the sanitarium. Also, she continued doting on Liam, who reminded her he's okay now, all thanks to Grace and the 1 million bone surgery. Hope was astounded when she heard how important plutocrat Bill coughed up to save his son. Before they could finish off that shady discussion, Finn arrived with Grace. While Liam and Hope were thrilled to see the phenomenon worker, Croker. Effects took a turn when Grace's smile faded and Finn claimed she'd tell Liam the verity about his brain excrescence. Sheila was hopeless for check. All she wanted was to pay her felicitations to Luna and recognize her granddaughter the right way. Despite Luna's boggling his musketeers, Deacon offered up the eatery for a final homage, which was nice, but Sheila simply wanted to know where Luna's remains were. Why, oh why, will Enley show her Luna's final resting place? Still, perhaps she could get the word from Finn if Lee wouldn't tell her. Deacon tried to talk her down off that ledge, but Sheila was determined and took off to find Lee or Finn. She demanded answers and was sure that if Lee wouldn't give them, he'd have them. Luna was his son. There's no way he'd be kept in the dark, right? Lee was tenderly minding for her niece granddaughter and promising Luna she'd bring her back around. She wasn't going to let her slip down. Still, saving her would take meds. Lots and lots of meds, and Lee was running out. So, she took off for the sanitarium to pick up more inventories. Big mistake, Lee, huge. Sheila was in the sanitarium for bare moments before April set up her in Lee's office, and they got to talking. April let her know Lee had taken a leave of absence, and Sheila asked her if there were any records about where Luna's remains ended up. Both Sheila and April were confused when they discovered there was no record of where Luna was taken. No sooner did April leave than Lee came in. Sheila wasted no time laying into her and demanding answers. "Where's my granddaughter?" Lee back in the room, Luna remained unconscious and adhering to life.